The question was about school choice. David, you want to start?
Sure. Well, the fundamental problem is that the government has gotten involved in the business of education and is directly competing with private schools. So the answer is to reduce that problem so that we don't have the situation where people that want to educate their children privately are stuck with both paying their tuition and paying their taxes to pay for someone else's education. I was raised in a Seventh-day Adventist church, and my father worked very hard to pay for all of his 4 children's education, me and my 3 sisters. And so he had to pay both taxes and tuition for 4 children because he was dedicated to having a good quality private education for his children. I believe eventually we have to get to the point where there's a free market in this and all the other businesses. If the government gets deeper into the public transportation, it's a monopoly business that competes against airlines, and it competes against taxis and other forms of private transportation. Education is the same thing. So I'm not prepared to say that we would be able to end public education overnight and transform it into a situation where everyone who wants to educate their child in a certain way pays for their child's education, and we don't have this situation right now where everybody is paying for few people's education. This does bring up the possibility of vouchers. I'm not for vouchers because then we're using public funding for private education. That's just exasperating the problem. So I'm for less money being spent on education. I'm for looking at the budget and where all this money that we're paying for education is going, and make sure it's going to teach the children, and particularly to teach them things. I believe one of my focuses will be social studies, because I believe that our publicly educated children are being taught government politics in such a way that history is being rewritten. And I don't believe that in private education that we would necessarily teach our children the same way. So there needs to be more competition. America started out as a free market country, and it's only been a few decades ago, I believe it was the 1930s or 40s, that public education came around. And so that's my take on it. It's another business that the government has gotten into that we have to pay all this tax money for, and it's not necessary.
In terms of public education, I'm a strong